Hi guys, welcome back to Iron Kaiser Gaming. I hope you're all having a great day out there. So, as you know, the Dynasties of India expansion pack released recently, and that means the spotlight is all on the new civilizations. Bengalis, Dravidians, Gujaratas, and Hindustanis. Everyone's talking about the new civs, and that makes a lot of sense. They're new, and they are a lot of fun. I think the Forgotten Empire devs did a fantastic job with them. You've seen some of the gameplay on my channel already. I've had an absolute blast with them. I'm looking forward to getting better with them, playing with them more, maybe even putting some more videos up on the channel, because they are a lot of fun. But what may have flown under the radar up to this point are the patch notes that came with the new DLC. And several of the older civilizations received some pretty interesting changes and new tools and options in their toolkit that they can use to shake up how they approach the game. And chief among them, in my opinion, is the Saracens. So I had a really fun match that kind of shows off the Saracen differences and changes. Then I figured I'd go ahead and share them with you, and we can figure out what's new about the Saracen Civ. We find ourselves on runestones. I'm in the red, playing as the Saracens. And my opponent over here, in color 5, I don't know, do you guys call this teal or cyan? I actually want you to leave a comment on the video here. Teal or cyan, I want to know the community opinion on this. Because I keep going back and forth. Sometimes it's teal, sometimes it's cyan. I can never make up my mind. But for now, we'll call it the teal. In the teal, we have the Pink Panther playing as the Slavs. Another civilization that received some changes with this expansion pack. And I've got to say, I'm really excited for this matchup for a couple of reasons. One, it's the Pink Panther. I used to love those films growing up. They were some of my favorites of all time. I'd say they still are some of my favorites of all time. Not the Steve Martin remake, but the original Peter Sellers films. An absolute blast. Particularly the fights between Clouseau and Kato, and just hilarious films. If you have not seen those Pink Panther films, I mean, pause the video and go rent the Pink Panther films. You can maybe skip the first one, the first Pink Panther. It's a little different. It's not quite the same, but the sequels, absolutely hilarious. A must-watch. So, getting to fight the Pink Panther, that's pretty fun. I'm also excited for this matchup, though, because the Slavs are a civilization that are likely to go cavalry. With the changes that I want to highlight, the Saracens are very good at fighting against cavalry civs. Like, I'd be golden if I were fighting Franks or Lithuanians, Magyar. And it wouldn't be nearly as much fun if I were playing against the Britons or the Mayans, Ethiopians, right? But Slavs are a civ that are likely to go cav, and they'll help show off some of these Saracen changes. Now, before I dive into those changes, let me just talk a little bit about the game here. I have discovered all my sheep, and I've gone out scouting him, and I noticed, hey, wait a minute. He doesn't have his berries. He's not claiming them yet. So I thought to myself, well, if I park my scout here, maybe I can use the scout to distract the enemy, mill villager, and just try to shut down his food eco for a little bit, get a little bit of distraction. And then I noticed this sheep. I thought to myself, wait a minute. What if this sheep is over there all by himself and left unguarded? Maybe. Can't hurt to just inch over. And sure enough, yoink. There we go. So, off to a pretty nice start. I've got a Vil lead. I'm kind of slowing him down between the sheep and maybe what I'm going to hopefully pull off with the berries here. Off to a pretty nice start. Pretty happy. He's going to ask me in just a second, hey, did you lure my boar? And I say, no, I'm not. I wasn't luring the boar. I don't go out of my way to lure sheep either. I'm not trying to steal anything, but definitely when you see a vulnerability like this, it's something I want to take advantage of. So got that sheep on his way back, and pretty nice opening there. But while we're watching the game here, what we're looking at with the Saracen changes are primarily in regards to their cavalry options. Now, the Saracens have pretty nice archers, actually. There he goes. Pink Panther, did you lame my boar? No, you just haven't found him yet. So, yeah, he's off to a little bit of a rough start. But fortunately for him, Slavs, they have the faster working farmers. So, you know, he's already on farms. That's the right call. And he benefits even more from farms than most civs. So, pretty nice. Yeah. But anyway, distracting him. Doing a pretty good job there. Now, you'll see we're going to get into a scout fight in a second. But, yeah, and he would win this fight one-on-one. But I'd take advantage of the terrain. And I don't think he realizes. And so that's a fight that ultimately I actually pull off. It's pretty nice. Always pay attention to those hills. Use them to your advantage. Okay, let's get into the Saracens, right? So they have pretty good archers. They have a really unique team bonus where their archers do +2 damage per shot to buildings. So don't underestimate that bonus. It means that you melt through structures faster with archers as the Saracens than any other civilization would. It's a really nice bonus. And there we go, my scout goes down. I wanted to pull him away, but it was a little slow, so that's no fun. But anyway, it's all right. I've still got that early advantage. I'm feeling pretty good right now. So they got really nice archers. And historically in the past, I think most people played Saracens with an archer rush or men-at-arms into archers or something like that. And then they saved their cavalry as, you know, kind of a backup support to the archers. I think that's typically how they were played. They're a fair all-around civ, but it seems like I see Saracen archers more than anything else. However, they received some changes. One of those is to the camel unit itself. And it's all about the camels. When I say the calves, I'm really talking the camels. The first is that the camel unit itself gained +1 line of sight. So just as a generic unit, you're running it around and you know, trying to get into fights and take good fights and avoid bad fights, right? Well, that extra line of sight means it's a little bit easier to avoid running into a castle or, you know, a surprise horde of pikemen or something like that, right? But also, the big change for the Saracens, this is what the video is all about, are the changes to their unique technologies. Now, it used to be the case that the Saracens in the Castle Age had a tech called Madrasa. And what Madrasa did is it gave you a gold refund, a gold rebate, whenever you lost a monk. So I think it was 33%. You spent 100 gold on a monk, the monk died, and you got 33 gold back when the monk died, right? I mean, it's mejor que nada, but it wasn't the best tech in the world. It was very rarely prioritized or seen as that important. You don't want to go out losing monks, so hopefully you're not taking advantage of that bonus even after you've researched it. And then in the Imperial Age, you had a tech called Zealotry, which gave your camel units an additional 20 HP. And that was on top of an additional 10 HP that they got innately just for being Saracen units. So the Saracens get 10 HP on their camel units for being Saracens, and then 20 more with the Zealotry tech in the Imperial Age. That's how it used to be. Now, ever since the DLC came out, Madrasa is gone. It's largely seen as a useless technology, and it has been removed from the game. Zealotry has moved to the Castle Age, and that is really important. So what that means is now you research that and you get 30 total bonus HP on all of your camels in the Castle Age. Having 30 more HP in the Castle Age is way more important than having 30 more HP in the Imperial Age. It's kind of like, if you're playing Age of Empires, you'd much rather have a bonus 100 food in the Dark Age than a bonus, 1,000 food in the post-Imperial, It means so much more to have those extra stats, those extra resources earlier in the game. And so here we have the opportunity to have really beefy, really tanky, healthy camels in the Castle Age with the Zealotry tech. And then in the Imperial Age, we of course need a new unique technology. And what we have is Counterweights, which gives your mangonels and trebuchets an additional 15% attack to buildings. Well, I guess 15% attack, period, right? So that's really awesome if you're building mangonels to counter archers. They'll be much more effective at that. Onagers and siege onagers and that kind of thing. But also, it means that your trebuchets will be even more devastating after you've researched that technology. So I'm going to be looking at those unique techs and trying to take advantage of them. I'm excited because I'm going up against the Slavs, who I'm hoping will go cavalry as well, right? So we really get to see the camels work. But if they don't, if they go maybe primarily infantry or something, we'll also get to see the camels at work. It's just an all-around sort of unit too. And that has its uses as well. We're also going to be looking at the Mamaluke. And the Mamaluke received some pretty cool changes. Part of them I've already mentioned. The Mamaluke, which is the Saracen unique unit, counts as a camel unit. So even in the Castle Age Mamalukes also benefit from that zealotry tech. They benefit from the Saracen innate bonus. So we're going to have plus 30 more HP on our Mamalukes. The other thing that's really nice is, finally, Mamalukes no longer take bonus damage from skirmishers. Mamalukes don't count as a cav archer anymore. So they are going to be way more effective at dealing with trash units in an all-around fight. You cannot counter Mamalukes with a simple horde of skirmishers. All right. The game has started in earnest. My opponent just hit the Castle Age, and I'm lagging behind him. I'm only starting my research in Castle Age now, but I'm up currently 9 vills. Probably drop a little bit by the time I hit Castle Age. And for reasons that maybe we'll discuss in another video, for now I'll just go ahead and say that the Slavs received a bonus to their ability to build castles. And I'm guessing that Pink Panther realizes that, and he wants to take advantage of this too. So he's going into stone, throwing down, a castle, a second town center. We're going to see some real fortifications from our Slavic player. As for me, my game plan from the beginning, I want to show off these new camels. So I'm going pretty heavy into my food, trying to take advantage of all the deer, getting my blacksmith techs for my cav. And as soon as I hit Castle Age, I want to get some camels out. And I'm really hoping, I'm crossing my fingers right now because I can't see any of this. I'm really hoping that he's going to go into knights. Or maybe even boyar. That's the thing too. The Slavs have a really, really fun, unique unit in the boyar. It's almost like a Teutonic knight on a horse. And so, if you go boyar, well, that's a really strong cavalry unit. And I, as a camel player, would love to see that. All right, here we go. Right out of the gate. Getting some camels going. Getting my blacksmith techs up and running. I have heard it said, and I think this is true in the vast majority of cases, if you're dealing with a melee unit, like knights, camels, infantry, you want to prioritize the armor tech before the attack. I think the main exception is if you're massing up scouts for some kind of scout rush. In that case, being able to snipe villagers with the extra attack would be more important than the armor, perhaps. But otherwise, prioritize the armor. So we got armor on our cav, and of course they have plus 10 more HP, so 130 instead of 120. I was gonna move my castle over here and try to get him off this gold, and then kind of take this gold in the back, but he's got the extra TC, so instead, I'm gonna build the castle here. Now, here comes the fight. 3 spearmen, 3 skirms. He has no blacksmith techs. I have, Castle Age armor, feudal age attack, and healthier, tankier camels. Yoink, yoink, yoink. All right, he loses that whole feudal age army. And I did not only did not lose a camel, he didn't even take a lot of damage. Now, part of that, I think, is his fault, because I think he was trying to get past my camels. But still, beefy, tanky Saracen camels. Here we go. This is what I want to see. He's going boyar. Boyar have a lot of melee armor. They are great against most melee engagements. But when you're dealing with an anti-cav unit, they're still going to put in some serious work against even Boyar. So we'll see what these guys get up to. In the meantime, this town center that he just got up is basically out of commission. You know, he might produce a couple of vills, but he's not trying to garrison it. He's not trying to fight for it. He knows it's gone. There we go. Zealotry just came in. So, now all of my camels have 150 max HP. And I discover, I'm trying to pick away at a spearman here. Boom. All right, I got a spearman down. I run away. And, you know, again, haven't lost a unit. The Pink Panther, that slippery cartoon character, decides he wants to break into my base with the Boyar, do some raiding. I appreciate the sentiment, but camels are ready. And again, I've got the blacksmith techs. He doesn't yet either, so that certainly doesn't hurt. I used to tell Hiram all the time, like, prioritize those blacksmith techs because they're easy to forget, and your units will just melt if you don't have them. Now at this point, I've done a lot of raiding with camels. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, he's the Slavic player. The Slavs, they have very good infantry. So I know if I just keep going camels, he's going to mass up pikes. And, you know, he'll win that fight. So I'm thinking, well, what is my response going to be to these pikemen? And I decide, let's go with the unique unit, the newly improved Mamaluke. Right? So the reason why they have the exact same blacksmith techs as camels do, so I don't really need to pick up any additional technologies to, you know, go Mamaluke. They are good all-around units. They also have anti-cav damage, just like camels do. But the main thing is that they, even though they do melee damage, they fire at range. So they're kind of like a mounted version of a Frankish throwing axeman. And as long as my micro is on point, and I keep, you know, moving and firing, then I can whittle away at a pikeman horde without needing to tech into archers or infantry. I want to try to keep the pressure on with the units I've got. Let's show off the Mamalukes, right? Notice that what my opponent is doing, he's lost the town center, he went for another town center, and now he's going to throw up a third TC. So he is going all in the long-term eco play. And I would be in a lot of trouble if I let the pressure off. Right? Especially, again, Slav farms. They are dangerous. Slav farmers work 10% faster, and it's a really nice bonus. It's hard to underestimate. He's already up 8 vills. So, you know, I've got to really make sure that I put the pressure on. Fortunately, I'm going up into the Imperial Age. He is... The trick with going heavy into eco is you do sacrifice short-term power for long-term potential. All of that food that could have gone into teching up to the next age or getting out military units, he's instead putting into the TCs to produce more vills. And so that means I have a window of opportunity to really lean into this game and try to take it. Imp is up. I'm going to get one more Mamaluke. And then we're going to get out some trebuchets, and then we're going to pick up the new unique technology, Counterweights. And we're going to see some Saracen trebuchet action. Interesting, he decided to pick up scale barding armor. I would have figured that he would have been afraid to go cavalry after seeing all of those archers. He has yet to see the Mamalukes, but he sees the camels. I think I said archers earlier. He's seen the camels, right? So I think that's an unusual choice. And this whole time, I mean, I've hit Imp. I'm staying on 1 TC. That's by design. That's a strategic choice. I want to try to really put the pressure on right now, get all of my resources moving into the next attack. So eventually I'll probably put down a second TC, but I really do want to make sure that I stay focused on the offense. And what I'm doing is massing up trebuchets, right? That's something I've learned over time and picked up on is it is very dangerous to trickle treb. You know, you send in one treb and start an attack with a single trebuchet. It lets your opponent know what you're doing and it gives them time to respond, maybe snipe your trebuchet. No. Better to sit back and mass up 4, 5, 6 trebuchets and then unleash on critical opponent buildings all at once. That's what I'm going to do here. Now, each trebuchet, by default, does, I think it's 230 damage with a bonus 250 damage to buildings. So, you're dealing with, before like reducing melee armor, it's just shy of 500 points of damage, right, for each shot. Counterweights adds 15% more damage. So you go up from 500 to 575 damage with every trebuchet shot. And so these aren't exact numbers, but it's almost as if here I've got 4 trebuchets. They're going to do the damage of 5. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to correct my math there. I know that's not exact, but that's certainly what it felt like. As I unleash. Now here, this castle is taking reduced damage because it's up on a hill. And, I'm firing from the flatland. Here we go, watch this. Now take a look. I've only lost 1 unit so far. He's lost 13. I've taken down the castle. Now I gotta retreat. And as I retreat, I use the Mamaluke micro. Alright, yeah. And he sees the situation. He's got to pull back because I'm successfully moving back and forth, harassing him. In that fight, I did not lose a single unit. And he went up from, I think it was like 12 to 20 units lost. So far, these fights are really working well for me. Yep, picking up the elite upgrade. I have the heavy camel rider now, the elite Mamaluke. Look at this, watch this. 2 salvos from trebuchets. Boom, boom, boom. Castle down. And that's because of the unique tech counterweights. Boom. A single salvo takes out a barracks there. That is awesome. It means that you can see I'm taking down these buildings much more quickly. And here, this poor guy, he was massing up, light cav to try to take out the trebs, but nope. Camels, Mamalukes, the anti-cav damage is too much. Yeah, here we go. The fight is on. Town center going down. He's sending in these pikemen to try to do what they can do. Now this unit right here only has 23 HP. It would be dead if not for the Saracen bonuses. I think I've got a couple of units that are like that. Yeah, and now he's in a nightmare scenario. He's lost 2 town centers. He's losing villagers. This is the downside, the danger of going in for the 3TC boom. Is what happens with the pressure. There it is. That is the new Saracens. And you can see here, he ended up losing 102 units to my 2. And while I'd like to say, I think if we're being honest, part of that was luck. Part of that was he might, Pink Panther here might have had a little bit of a rough start early on. And, there were some choices like going heavy into Scout Cav against my Camel army. That wasn't the best call, right? But I think what you did see were the strengths of the new Saracens. Zealotry in the Castle Age is awesome. It's a lot of fun to play with these, again, beefy, tanky Castle Age camels. And then, once you hit the Imperial Age, what you used to be able to research Zealotry and get that imp tech, well, now you've already got that in your back pocket, and so you can go into heavy camel, you can go into elite Mamaluke, And it's just that much easier to reach your full potential as the Saracens with a camel army. And then on top of that, Counterweights feels so buttery smooth with, you know, I'd say 4 trebuchets is probably the sweet spot. 5 might be even better, but it feels like with 4, you know, you're able to take out a castle in 2 salvos. And that's not something that you're normally able to pull off. It feels like you're getting extra trebuchet power packed into each individual trebuchet. So a really awesome set of unique techs. The Mamaluke has been buffed. It's a really strong unit now. A lot of fun to play the Saracens. So leave a comment, if you will. I'd appreciate if you'd like the video and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Leave a comment as to your experience with the Saracens. Maybe you tried out the new Civ. What do you think? What civilization would you like to toy around with their unique techs if you could? You know, maybe swap some around, maybe get rid of one, give them a new one. What would be your choice for a change to a Civ's unique techs? That's my question for you at the end of the video. That, and remember, what do you call this? Teal or cyan? It's certainly not pink. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. This is the Iron Kaiser along with the Saracens signing out.